reading to Bill 48, the Crown's Right of Recovery Act. So, Mr. Speaker, I find this bill really frustrating because here was a really good idea that had a lot of support that I think and a lot of support outside of this chamber, and that is specifically sections, what turns out to be, Part 2, 3, and 4, which would have allowed, enabled the province to be able to recover, go after third parties, and it's called third-party liability, and specifically this was around tobacco products. So we had something that people in the House and outside of the House were really interested in, and for some reason, well, certainly unknown to this member, I sure hope it makes sense to the other side, they decided to marry an additional piece to it, and that is Part 1 of this Act, which is about chasing down criminals to make them pay for a right to recover health costs. So I don't know why they would put these two things together, but they did. And I don't know if they were trying to be cute. I hope not. But I think that they tied something that is important and credible to a piece of political theater. And certainly in reviewing the media reaction to the proposals when this bill came out from the Minister of Health, that's what it is. It's political theater. It's playing into a conservative agenda to look tough on crime. And you know what? I'm supportive of a number of measures to actually be tough on crime, but I am not very supportive of political theater to appear to be tough on crime. And that's what we've now got in this bill. You know, when I had a call from a community member who runs one of the agencies that is trying to stop smoking and stop the effects of smoking and a number of other things. And, you know, here he is going, please, 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 will you support this bill? We understand it's got this other Part 1 to it and we're not too keen on that, but, you know, please don't let that stop you. Well, he understood immediately what the problems that were created by this little piece of political theater. So let me go specifically into the background here. What we do have here is, you know, let me talk about some stuff that could be done and that has been proven to be effective if we want to actually cut down on crime. And then there's, and we can talk on the social justice side, and then we can talk on the punishment side of things as well. And I know my colleague from Calgary-Buffalo is going to speak to this as well, and he has a keen interest as well in being, you know, tough on crime, and he's got some things to add to this discussion. But what we've, you know, and here's some of the things that can be done that we know work. It's things like literacy. It's things like housing. It's things like drug treatment. And, you know, here's an example of where the government did do something right, where they instituted the drug treatment courts, where someone who's appearing before the courts, and it's really around drug use, which is contributing to an individual's participation in a number of crimes, generally petty, but very time-consuming to the system. You know, diverting into a drug treatment court is very effective, very cost-effective, very effective for the individual, very effective for society. So you actually want to do something that's going to cut down on crime, get involved in something like that. But to get us involved in something where we're now going to try and chase down somebody that has been convicted, first of all convicted of a crime, and then we're going to try and chase them down and get court costs from them for whatever health costs this crime incurred in the health system. You know, the minister has made the point that not all criminals are poor. Fair enough, not all of them are, but a lot of them are. So how much money are we going to be willing to spend from our Crown prosecutors chasing down a bunch of lowlifes who don't have that much money so that we can extricate what little bit of money they do have from them? You know, what is the point of that? Secondly, we want to chase down people who do have some money that we can extricate from them. Again, where is the systems audit on this? Where is the business case that actually shows me that this is worthwhile doing? Aside from some sort of, political theater, some sort of gimmick to show the world, to wave the flag, that this is a government that's tough on crime. What I see here is a government that wants to spend taxpayers' money in order to make people believe that they're tough on crime. But how does chasing down a criminal, make sure they've been convicted, for costs that they incurred in the healthcare system actually going to change anything, except for some sort of after-the-fact punishment? The likelihood that significant monies would be recovered to actually be worth the expenditure of monies to obtain that money, to me seems to be very small, but I welcome the business case if the government can produce one. And frankly, I haven't seen it so far, and this bill has been on the order paper since the spring, so there's been plenty of time to produce that evidence.